कामरूपिणी विद्यारंभं करिष्यामि सिद्धे भवतु मे सदा वसुदेवं सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् हरि ओम् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् Yes, can someone recollect what is it that we have seen last? Yes, please, anybody. Just give me a moment. I'm just turning on. Yes, all right. Yes, please. Can someone recollect what is it that we saw last?
And in this 26th sloka, Krishna says, "He who constantly worship me through the yoga of devotion,
Yeah,
transcending these three gunas, he will attain the supreme divine, that is Brahma."
with ease, isn't it? He can easily
Yeah.
transcend what we
Attain,
talked about.
yes.
Meaning, if we are connected with the divine through this beautiful bond of love,
Love.
we get the knowledge, we get the wisdom, we get the direction.
Yeah.
Sometimes, if you have a lot of knowledge, it is good to have all of it. But if you don't have any bhakti, it is like waste. That is why bhakti is a very essential element. Without bhakti, it does not get complete. And if we have it, Krishna says, even the greatest of the greats, what they have not achieved, we can achieve it. That is something which is very interesting. So with this, we are ready to enter into the 15th adhyay. Very interesting turns had come from so far. Krishna is now moving more and more practical, talking about three gunas. And after the Vishwarupa Darshana only, there was an interesting change. But now again, he is introducing a very metaphysical concept. Let us see here. We go to the 15th shloka of the Gita, 15th adhyaya of the Gita, the first shloka. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Urdhva Madh Shakham Ashwatham Prahuram Avyayam Chandasi Yasya Parnani
Yes.
Yastam Veda Sa Vedavid. Now Krishna spoke from its roots above, seated in eternity, and branching below is the ethereal Ashwatha tree. The many hymns of the Vedas are but its leaves. He who knows this, the essence of the Vedas, he perceives. I'll just repeat that once more and then we'll just go to the next shloka and then try to understand what Krishna is saying. So, out of nowhere, he's just talking something very interesting. He says, from its roots above, seated in eternity, branching below is the ethereal Ashwatha tree. The many hymns of the Vedas are but its leaves. He who knows this, the essence of the Vedas, he perceives. Let's look at the second shloka. Adhaschordhvam prasrutastasya shakha gunapravruddha pravalaha adhascha mulanyanusantatani karmanubandhini manushya. Above and below, the cosmic tree's branches extend. In the material and supraphysical planes they portend, raised by nature's qualities and their derivative senses, roots of bonded actions into the mortal world it dispenses. If you look at it now, Krishna is actually talking about an interesting Ashwatha tree, having its roots above, seated in eternity. How does one even perceive such a form? And what is he talking about? Anybody? Why a tree? Why suddenly he's talking about a tree? Is there any significance or symbolism in a tree?
I would
Yes, sir.
like to add something. Yeah. So Trees, yeah, the symbol, I think probably he's trying to say that there are different parts of tree.
Okay,
So the root, stem, and the branches.
right.
And then he's trying to relate these three with some human quality or some human nature or whatever.
Okay,
And he's saying that imagine that tree inverted, that
okay.
roots upside
Yes,
and then everything below.
yes.
So probably a tree's image in a pond, if you
Hmm.
see,
Okay,
you can probably see inverted. Roots
right.
probably cannot see.
Yeah, so it's a very confusing imagery, no?
Yep. So that's what I could like,
Thanks.
comprehend.
Yes, sir. Thank you for sharing that, Pankaj. Anybody? Yes, Alpanaji. Yes, please.
I think this Ashwatha tree, it's a full blown grown tree. You know, you can't make out where it started, where it has, which branch
How
belongs
old
to.
is Ashwatha tree generally, Ji?
I
How many
think
days? How many days or how many years? What's the life of an Ashwatha
years,
tree?
years. It's hundreds of years. I think.
Hundreds. It's like
Yeah.
almost eternal, isn't it?
Yes, correct. So I think that is what the
Okay.
symbolism is, that
Okay.
divine is also eternal, and you can't.
So maybe
Yes,
Ashwatha tree and eternal
yes, yes.
life,
That
isn't
is.
it? Eternal life.
Yeah, that is.
Has anybody heard of this concept of tree of life?
No, I have not.
Okay, this is very interesting. In so many, not just in Sanatan fold, many other religions also have this concept of some tree of life. It is used in different stories, the symbolism. Even our father of psychoanalysis, Carl Jung, he was very interested with this particular verses of the Gita. He was very interested with what was described in this, the symbolism, plus it had some very interesting significance. Um, just without deviating too much, but anybody knows of one particular movie which had the name from inspired from the tradition of the Avatarhood called Avatar?
We are aware
Anyone?
about Avatar, yeah, that movie. Yeah.
In there was something about a tree, isn't it, in the first one?
Yeah.
And that tree is connecting, supposedly, that tree has the life energies of the entire population in that particular planet. Well, something similar we see. Krishna is talking in metaphysical terms of a symbolism of a tree. It is connecting. If you see its or its roots are above, it's not just your ordinary tree. And Ashwatha is also a very special tree, isn't it? Buddha got his realization under an Ashwatha tree. If you look at the Ashwatha tree, even at night, it gives you oxygen.
Yeah.
It is one of the only trees that does not, even at night times, there are certain very rare trees or plants which do that. So this is one very special one. It has its own spiritual significance. The great quietude that you can get just by sitting under it or touching the branches, you will get some very nice
And from the
experience.
branches also the root comes down, no?
That's the
Not just the
banyan,
branch.
isn't it? That is the banyan tree.
Not this one.
Yeah. Yes, yes. This is the people tree. Ji.
People.
Ashwatha is the people tree. Yeah. So now Krishna is talking about it, but he's talking about something a little different. He says this is having it's upside down in the sense it's inverted. Roots are above, and what is the source of the roots? Eternity. From origin of eternity, there is a movement. Can we call it? Is it an upward movement or is it a downward movement for the growth of this tree? If roots are above,
So
how
upward.
is this
Downward movement then.
downward? Isn't it? It is downward. It's like a descent. What was the descent that took place first? If you see, the Kena Upanishad also begins. Who is it that brings about the fall? What was the descent? It was a descent of a divine consciousness in the creation of the Srishti. From eternity came a perishable world, isn't it? A world which is having limitations. It was a descent, a consciousness of the divine descended, avatars descend, something of that sort we see here in this Ashwatha tree, which is originating from its roots in the eternity, in its base is in the eternity, and its branches are so many. And what are the leaves? He says the leaves are nothing but the Vedas. So that was in the first shloka. And in the second shloka, above and below, the cosmic tree's branches extend. So the branches are going in both places. So meaning this tree is now getting there's some kind of involution also. It's like almost a circular movement. In the material and supraphysical planes, they portend, meaning this is a connection. There is describing a connection between the divine's consciousness and the material world. It is not so disconnected, and it is this tree that is connecting that, raised by nature's qualities and their derivative senses. The gunas, what we learnt about, the three gunas, and all the indriyas and whatever experiences that come in human beings, all these are nourishing the movement of that tree. Roots of bonded actions into the mortal world it dispenses. Karmanubandhini manushya loke. But what is this tree causing? Karma bandhanas. Karma bandhanas in the world. Let us just keep, we cannot fully understand it at this moment, but let us just keep it in abeyance. We just look at what are the, what we can say, hints and whatever descriptions Krishna has given. Let's keep that in our mind. A tree which is upside down. This tree has its origin from eternity. Its tree is having branches below. Later, he says branches are spreading everywhere, then from below and upwards also, meaning these bandhanas are there. It is connecting the material world with the supra-physical worlds also. And this karma bandhanas are there only because of it. And this tree is getting nourished by the gunas and the experiences that are gathered through the gunas by all the living beings. Let us see further. न रूपमस्येह तथोपलभ्यते नान्तो न चादिर्न च सम्प्रतिष्ठा अश्वत्थमेनं सुविरूढमूलम् असङ्गशस्त्रेण दृढेन छित्त्वा. This inverted Ashwatha's form on earth is inconceivable. Neither beginning, nor end, nor foundation is perceivable. With the sharpest saber of detachment alone can one sever and escape from its roots that entangle the being forever. This inverted form of the Ashwatha is inconceivable. Neither the beginning, nor the middle, nor the end can be perceived. So we'll just look at this and we'll go to the next part before looking at the second part, which talks about Asanga Shastrena Dhrudina Chitva. Krishna is saying it's not conceivable. Why is he asking us to do this? One side, he is saying this is a tree that you cannot think about, and he says, think about this tree. This is a tree that you cannot understand, but he's saying, understand it is like this. What is the logic behind this? Anyone? Arjuna was doing all right. Nothing wrong in Arjuna. Now, why is he troubling Arjuna? What is the logic behind explaining this? Anybody?
I think what it's trying to tell is we get entangled in so many things in our life,
Yes, sir.
and this karma anubandhane, and then we have to
Yes.
get mukti from that so that you can reach higher level of consciousness.
Right, sir. And if you see, do we physically we don't get entangled, isn't it? It is not on the physically perceivable, no?
It's mind, and
Yeah, mind or through circumstances or so. These bandhanas are not really perceivable directly. They are something. The karma bandhanas are itself metaphysical. To understand it, we have to be ready, isn't it? To go towards that domain, we need to try to think or at least understand there are things beyond my understanding. Someone who is very successful in life, someone who is achieving all that that individual is capable of or is aspiring for, will that individual not be ever trapped in that understanding of whatever is limited? Will that individual never try to, will never, that individual ever try to feel that there are things beyond my understanding?
Of
No,
course, nobody
no,
can guarantee that. Yeah.
isn't it? Isn't it? Like just one elderly participant and a friend. He just shared to me after the Gita. He said, What is it? I like the Gita classes. We had a shorter version, so it was better. Now, some people have complained to me that why are you having a longer discussion? But I think it is required. Whatever, we are not trying to stretch anything more than necessary. But he said, I don't. And then when we had an Upanishad workshop, he said, no, no, I don't think Upanishads are very useful for me. I am in this profession of chartered accountancy, and I don't think these are useful. My head is not entering into that only. And then that person began explaining, I have understood the Gita and correct me if I am wrong. And everything that person said was wrong. How can I correct when that person does not want to hear? When that person does not want to, he says, see, this my life has been successful because of my approach. So I don't want to change that approach. No, you can't say that. So it is something, it's a bandhana which we don't realize. These bandhanas, yes, Rahulji wants to add something. Yes, sir. Yes, please.
No, I was just sharing that the inverted tree shows that we live with certain concepts, and what Bhagavad
Uh,
Gita ji is actually is inverting all those concepts. What we
पूरा
think is
विश्व
real is
उल्टा कर दिया है
बिल्कुल मटके को बिल्कुल उल्टा कर दिया, ऐसा लगता है
हाँ
खड़ा उल्टा हो रहा है पूरा.
yes, yes, yes. But when we say that, then things become a little freer, isn't it, Rahulji?
Yeah, it does. Definitely
It,
it does. Yes.
yes, yes. So it is something which is like for me one of the biggest moments came in one of life. I would say was it was while one day I was running in the ground and the sun was setting and I just saw I am also running in circles in life. I don't think I'm doing anything. And that was the pause, that was the shock, that was the day I decided I'm going to focus more on my engineering because I thought my engineering is my career. I decided to say bye bye to my sports career. But that was a very important moment of realization where I had to understand and where I want to go ahead. But otherwise, many times in life, we get in circles without really understanding. And these are the bandhanas Krishna talks about. Through the gunas, that tree grows, and through the gunas we get bound. Through the gunas, through our natures only, whatever nature it may be, no matter if somebody says it's a good nature or bad nature, through the gunas we get trapped in karma bandhana. And the problem of these bandhanas are that they are not temporary, they can be permanent also. Imagine getting trapped in a bandhana permanently. I mean, sometimes even the greatest gurus cannot remove attachments of shishyas, isn't it? Does the status of a guru does not guarantee, that Shishya will be able to be brought out of the bandhana. There's a consent has to be given. That is why Krishna had to teach Arjuna about detachment, about vairagya. What is this? Uh, how do you get free from these aspects of bandhanas? And that is what Krishna is saying here. The last part of this is very beautiful, where he says, with the sharpest saber of detachment alone can one sever and escape from its roots that entangle the being forever. It's like you can get trapped and then you'll keep further going in as if you are stuck in quicksand the more you struggle, but only by understanding the real meaning. Here we have another beautiful Sanskrit word for detachment. It is called asanga. Asanga. Interestingly, in Gita, one more place, detachment is also called mukta sanga. So mukta sanga or asanga. Here we say asanga is like a sharp sword, a sword which will allow you to cut yourself from these detachments. Because I think all of us in our life, we're all adults and we have gone through experiences. Sometimes we've had to use that sword of detachment, isn't it? To
Yes.
understand things and move ahead. And when it happens, it's like painful because as if you are pulling strings from your heart only. But if you did not do that, movement would not be possible. Well, same thing. We have to become a little more conscious to do some more when we get into the Gita, as as Rahulji shared. Sometimes our world looks like it's upside down, or my own thinking. I was thinking this way, and I suddenly feel, oh no, this was wrong. I need to understand. But then you need to have that courage. You need to have the strength to get yourself free, and that is the weapon. Yes, sir. Rahulji is adding something.
Just a question. Sorry, I joined a little late.
No problems.
Purushottam Yog, chapter 15 is all about detachment. Is that the theme of the chapter?
Um, Actually, this is a metaphysical one which is talking about the origins, sir. Origin of the divine, how the divine has created the Srishti, a little bit about how do we connect with it. It's almost as if Krishna said, okay, okay, I've given a lot of practical, now I'm shifting gear to metaphysical.
So, since he has given yogas of for every chapter, is there a yoga of detachment also he is given in any chapter?
Actually, sir, yoga is everywhere. Well, Krishna himself has not given the chapter titles, no? Purushottama Yoga or anything of that sort. These are understandings, and people have given the title.
Okay.
We can call it anything. We can say Divyarambha Yoga or whatever origin of the divine or the divine origin of creation. So
Hmm.
some name, but this is the chapter which talks about the origins. Sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So, what is the connection? The leaves are referred to as the Vedas.
So yes, this is also interesting. The leaves of this tree are called the Vedas, meaning if you understand the principles of truth through the principle of detachment, also you will get the same knowledge that can be got in the Vedas. If we see, yeah, it was Sant Tukaram only. He had beautifully said this very nice poetic verse. Because if you know, Sant Tukaram did not have formal education, isn't it? Of neither of the Sanskrit text, neither of the Vyakarana. He did not learn that way Vedanta. It was through his love for the divine and his bhakti that he began to receive the knowledge. And as he began to receive, he started speaking. Then he was banned from speaking because he does not have the authorization to speak. His words were then considered blasphemy, and he was asked to throw all of his writings into the river by the Dharma Shastris of that time. But then when it came back, then he again revived. And that time he beautifully said, he said, Vedansa to artha amasitsa thava, yera anni bhava bharamatha. Khadilyasa godi, dekhilyasa nahi, bhara dhani vahi mazuriche. Meaning, the meaning of Veda only I can claim to know is what he said. It was not ego. He said, I have understood, I have experienced. So I have experienced it, that is giving me the authority when he got that understanding. So he said, Vedanta to artha hamasitsa thava, yeranni bhava bharamatha. Let those others, like porters are carrying in the railway station, we used to have a lot of, nowadays I don't see too many of them, but porters used to carry the lots of luggage, isn't it? Just like that. Let those people who are carrying all those scriptures on their head without really understanding it, let them do their efforts. But I have understood it. And then he gives khadilyasa godi, dekhilyasa nahi. The sweetness of taste that comes from experience that cannot be shown, isn't it? Like I sit in front of you and say, this wonderful season in Pondicherry, we have got wonderful Sindra mango, and one full session I keep eating the mango in front of you. Will anybody get a taste of it? It will not be got, isn't it? So it has to be experienced, experiential wisdom. Well, the Vedic knowledge also can get experienced. You go quiet in your meditation, meditate upon the Ashwatha tree, understand and strive become, understand that I am a spiritual being living this life, having so many relations, so many beautiful relations with so many people, yet my highest relation is with divine only. Maybe at that time you'll suddenly understand what is the supreme Hiranyagarbha of everything. In that you might get that understanding. So Vinitaji, I think that point about its very leaves being the Vedas, it means the essence of the wisdom which can be got. It is universal. You understand the attachment, you will understand Vedas also. Yes, Ji?
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ji. Thank you, Ji. Namaskar. So, so then this is the last part. Asanga shastrena dhrudena chitva. With the sharpest saber of detachment alone can one sever and escape from its roots that entangle the being forever. He goes on further, Krishna says now. And the reason he is saying it's not conceivable or why you cannot understand by the mind is because mind is limited by logic. To understand this, you have to go to the domain beyond the mind. And the only way you can do it is one way. That's a very nice anecdote of my Guruji only. He was in a class by one very famous sadhak called Maheshwari ji of Pondicherry, and he said we have to go beyond the mind. After the entire class, one person asked him, "You have talked so much about higher mind, all of these concepts. How do I go beyond the mind? Can you tell me in one line?" So the teacher said, "Yes. by doing it. That is what. So this is an experience that must be got. First, let me understand my own limitations of the mind. Without my knowledge, one day I may get some kind of what we call extrasensory perception. It is there in medical terminology also, isn't it? This aspect of extrasensory perception. This is a concept which is understood, which we are not fully aware of. It is something, but patients do get it. They understand some things. That is something which, yeah, it is a possibility. So let us open up to a possibility of us having a divine origin, a connection between all of us, though we are physically not connected on a different level. We might be connected by that essence, which is this Ashwatha only. And let us also be wary that there are roots coming out of this tree, this eternal tree that can sometimes get us bound forever. This it's like sometimes children are given toys and the children keep playing with the toys for hours together without knowing that they are actually trapped in that toys. It is something like that. Let's not do that in our life. There is something Krishna is telling us. He says further, Tataha padam tat parimargitavyam yasmin gata nanivartanti bhuyaha तमेव चाद्यं पुरुषं प्रपद्ये यतः प्रवृत्तिः प्रसृता पुराणी. Yearn for the one destination, that is the goal supreme, from where you return not once more to the mortal dream. Seek refuge in the ancient, timeless, eternal, the beginning of every action, the source, original. Krishna is saying, go back to the roots, go back to your origins, go back to the understanding. Who are you? As the Upanishads say, Krito smara, Kritam smara. Go back, he says. Yearn for that one destination that is the goal supreme. What is the purpose of your birth? What is the destination? What is your purpose? This is a big question. Many times people don't go through entire lifetimes without getting an answer to this question. What is my purpose of existence? It is simple. According to the Gita, it is just to be divine, to become divine. There is no higher purpose. I want nothing lesser also than this. Why do I want to realize God? I want to see God. I want to become one. God, let that be the aspiration. I want to experience the maximum I can experience in this birth. Let me go as close to divinity as possible. Even Anjaneya, when he was very young, didn't he try to reach that sun? That yes, that leap. Why are we not trying to take as young? We are always children of the divine. And in Hindi they say, no, baap se beta savai. Should the child not try to go better? Should the child not try to become better? That is the aspiration. Krishna says, yearn for it. Here he says, from where you return not once more to the mortal dream. Seek refuge in the ancient, timeless, eternal, the beginning of every action, the source original. The next shloka goes on. Krishna says, Nirmana moha jita sanga dosha adhyatma nitya vinivritta kamaha द्वन्द्वैर् विमुक्ताः सुख दुःख संज्ञैः गच्छन्त्यमूढाः पदमव्ययम् तत्. Bereft of pride and illusion, with a desireless detachment, it's a complete detachment, zero desires, keep nothing. Isn't Krishna putting a very high price on our life by asking us to walk on this path? No desires, have no desires, have proper detachment, complete detachment. Isn't that a very big price our Krishna is asking from us?
Yes, sir.
Huh, Alpana ji?
I feel yes. He's asking us to do so many things, and I don't know whether we have even inched towards it, even 1 millimeter. Do we get
No,
a
it's not
report
the
card
question
also?
of it is like, see, if I have 100 rupees in my pocket and say the driver says मुझे 100 रुपए दे दो, the question is it is my choice, isn't it?
Yes.
Do I want to give it or not? Or we say this person is being a driver बहुत ज़्यादा मांग रहा है. Too much for me. I can't give that 100. That's a personal choice, isn't it, Alpna ji?
Yes, yes, it is.
So is Krishna behaving like that individual who's asking so much?
No, actually, I feel it's
Yeah.
not a prize, but Krishna is saving us of being trapped in those desires and all.
Okay, so he's not really asking a price like a driver who's exorbitant, isn't it?
Yes,
But it does look like it because we are all very, very
because we have
attached, isn't it?
limited understanding, so that we are
Okay,
attempt.
fine. Okay, limited understanding, or we hold our attachments so closely, isn't it?
Yes,
And
Okay,
he
yes,
is
yes.
maybe.
showing the way. He is showing us the way to do it.
Okay, he's giving us the way as Maji said. Pankaj and then
Yes.
Rahul ji. Yes, sir. Pankaj.
Yeah, so he's putting guidelines, right? That
Yeah.
these are the guidelines. If you follow these guidelines, these are the results. Now,
Yes.
if driver is asking me 100 rupees, and if I have just 100 in my pocket, and if he promises me that I'll take you to like heaven,
Yes.
I will give him.
Yes, isn't it? Otherwise we can say, नहीं नहीं तो मैं पैदल जाऊंगा. I'll go walking. Then it will say, okay, jao, but it will take so much time, isn't it?
I will give.
It is, yeah. But you will give, and that's a very nice thing, as Pankaj has said, that the Sarathi is only telling us, give me this much, I'll take you. We'll say, yes, please take it, by all means. Okay, that's an interesting approach. Rahul ji, yes, sir.
अभी यहाँ तक आने के में इतना जॉय मिल रहा है. अभी तो
हाँ.
we just walked a few steps and it is still so joyful.
Oh, lovely, sir.
तो
Okay, so
फिर
it's like
आगे
a joyride.
या सो एक पिक्चर का वो गाना याद आता है, जब रात है इतनी मत वाली फिर सुबह का आलम क्या होगा.
Oh, wow, wow, wow. So lovely. Wonderfully said. Which one is this, sir? Reference, maybe you can share in the group afterwards.
Yes,
If not,
yes.
yes, yes. Alpna ji was adding something, then we go ahead.
Oh no, I was just thinking about it. It's my choice, right? Whether I want to give the full
Yes,
100, because I didn't ask him whether he didn't promise me first. He just asked me for 100 rupees. He didn't say that
yeah.
I
Now
will
he's
take
telling
you.
in this shloka, he's giving this shloka, the
Okay,
last
okay.
part. Padam
So because
avyayam
my
tat.
Vivek Buddhi, I would have given him some partial amount because I also need something, no, for somebody
Yeah,
else maybe if that
okay.
other people ask me. Yeah.
Yes, yes. But this is now your journey and he's giving you padam avyayam tat in this shloka, the highest.
Acha, okay. Oh, that is the meaning. Okay. I'll give
Yes,
you
and we
something
go
in
to that
return.
state,
Mm.
and when we go to that state, we will automatically be benefiting all who are connected with us.
Yes. Yes.
Losing these attachments, we're not really losing anything. It's not even like money you lose. Okay, okay, you people feel that's a loss of force, but here you get connected with a divine force when you lose attachments. It's a
Hmm.
difficult moment in letting go. Letting go of attachments is different from letting go of people, isn't it?
Yes.
It is not the same. Krishna is not asking us to let go of people, let go of duties, let go of positions. He's saying let go of your attachments to all of these things. Because if you do this, the aspect that he's giving in return is divinity only. You become divine, you become godlike. That is what in no other dharma is Manushya elevated to such a highest stance or highest position, or the potential of elevation is discussed so freely for every living being that we as humans can aspire. This dialogue between Nara and Narayan is actually asking the Nara to become Narayan ultimately. It may
Hmm.
take time, it may not take time, it is all depending on the path. They say the sadhana, it depends on the aspiration and sincerity of aspiration and intensity of aspiration. Somebody may require an entire tapa, which they say 12 years. Some people may require two tapas. Some people may require three tapas. Some people may have such great intensity that what can be achieved in 12 years, they may get in 12 months, which can become 12 days also, which can also become 12 minutes. Depends exactly on the intensity. So here Krishna says here, Nirmana moha jitasanga dosha adhyatma nitya vinivruta kamaha dvandvair vimuktaha sukha dukkha sanyaihi gacchantya mudaha padamavyayam tat. Bereft of pride and delusion, with a desireless detachment, embedded in the self by conquering the fault of attachment. Krishna says, "Arey, this is a fault. Conquer this shortcoming, conquer this fault of yours. Become embedded in that self. Forget that pride. Stop getting trapped in the pride of your own self all the time. That's limited, isn't it? It's not going to take you too ahead in life. So just leave that. Stop being delusion in state of delusion just because of your attachments. What happens then? Then you become free from the dvandvas of life. Should I do this? Should I do that? Will I get appreciated? Will I not get appreciated? Will I get returns? Will I not get returns? These are all the dvandvas which run into a person's head all the time. Most of the time, it leads to overthinking, anxieties, worries, and a host of problems. The person becomes free, having surpassed the dualities of joy and sorrow for good. No more are you trying to manifest things for your personal satisfaction. No more are you worried about things not really going your way when you're doing something sincerely. I think that's all that needs to be done without worrying. So that person becomes totally free from this dvandvas, and because of that, that being also understand the highest truth. The highest truth is in this dvandva of what is shreyas and what is preyas in life, isn't it? What is good for me, what is right for me, and what is desirable for me. This entire duality is there in the Kathopanishad. Krishna say, I mean, not Krishna, or Yama form of Krishna, or Yama says in the Kathopanishad to Nachiketas, the way to reach the highest consciousness, the way to reach the highest stage, which is beyond mortality also, is by choosing the path of Shreyas, by taking that, going beyond the dualities. And the young boy is able to do it. Well, I think that's a great example for all of us also that we can also do this. Having surpassed the dualities of joy and sorrow for good, the enlightened ones progress towards the status of godhood. They go to that highest status. Krishna goes on, he says, Natad bhasayate suryo na shashanko na pavakaha yad gatva nivartante tad dhama paramam mama. For it is there, there is the timeless resplendent one comes to their sight, whose radiance is beyond the fire, the moon, or the sun's light. They return not after having journeyed the distance, for they reach the zenith of the status of my existence. Many times we see this, a point of no return. They go to the place from where they don't come back. What does that imply? Nothing but the attainment or ascent to the higher consciousness. That higher consciousness is when a realization comes, a person who was doing so many mistakes, that person will never go back to that state of making mistakes, isn't it? When the person realizes. It is that the power of realization. There is this beautiful story of the Rajahamsa. The Rajahamsa did not know that the Manasarovar is its home. So he was just dwelling. He was just dwelling in the petty circles. It was just living in, we can say, imagine a Rajahamsa is in a cage. Though the cage may be beautiful, golden, somebody is giving food to that Rajahamsa. Maybe the Rajahamsa might not know of the origin of its origin of divine origin or divine destination. The Rajahamsa will be satisfied in that particular golden cage. But suddenly, when the Rajahamsa sees, maybe from the window, it sees other Rajahamsas flying freely in the sky. Immediately, this one realizes, ki, yes, it is time for me to take that leap. It is time for me to ascend. It is time for me to go and reach that home, that Manasarovar, where I will be eating my own lotus seeds. I will not be getting morsels from others. So many times in life, we become dependent out of attachments. We want some kind of affection from someone. We want some kind of praise from someone. We want some kind of support from someone. And then we feel very weak without it. But what if we realize that I do not need that also? I am connected with the divine. I am able to stand. I am able to move ahead. then this person will never go back into the dependency of on someone else. So, doesn't dependency make us weak at times? Don't we agree?
Yes.
Yes.
Accept dependency on the
Yes.
divine. It is best to not have dependency on anybody else.
Yes, true.
And the divine can work through everybody. We don't have to reject people and discard people. But the dependency factor, most of the time, that is why all sadhaks, they try to be as independent as possible. Maybe somebody else might do something for them and they will take that help willingly, but they are not dependent that that person will only has to be there, then only I can move ahead, because that is the journey. A journey has been decided. And that is what happens here. They reach that highest status, which Krishna talked, even godhood. What happens from there? From there, they see a new horizon. They see a beautiful, beautiful, brilliant truth of the divine. They are able to understand. It's like so brilliant that even the sun and the moon, they look pale in front of that. And then they reach that consciousness. It is this experience of Vairagya. A Vairagya's experience, one person gets this taste once of the Ananda that comes from Vairagya, the freedom that comes from not being affected by your little attachments. Then it will not be lost by you at all. A simpler and a very more trivialized example, I would say, is about my friend who went through 4 relationships and 4 breakups. And after 4 times, he realized, I don't want any of this nonsense in my life. And then that experience which he got afterwards, he did find his partner and other stories going on. I don't even know what is going on right now. I'm out of touch for over a decade. But the fact that understanding gave him a great bliss of a kind of a freedom, that this trap which I am always entrapping myself. Every time I felt problem is with somebody else. It's very easy to point out to everybody else. When he did understand it was in him, he immediately course corrected and he said, no, I cannot do this. He decided, he took a decision. I cannot keep I cannot keep getting into similar situations. I cannot keep crying over what is wrong. I cannot keep crying over what is happening in my life. Everybody has battles, but I think everybody must take a call. Come on, I'm not going to fall or yield. I'm going to stand up. Why? I am a soldier of Krishna. Uttishta Bharata is what he has told. So I will stand up. I will stand up with the confidence of Krishna. I will stand up and face whatever challenge comes. And as you walk ahead, then you start, maybe you get the darshana, you get the experience of the divine only. That is what Krishna is talking about. He goes on further. मामैवांशो जीवलोके जीवभूतः सनातनः मनः षष्ठानीन्द्रियाणि प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति. What happens when this happens? All the bodies of the living, Krishna says, all the bodies of the living manifest only from mine. For their soul is but a quantum of my energies divine. We just look at this part alone. Krishna says the physical living beings also, the physical body. That is why we can say even physical body is divine, because inside of the physical body is the divine seated. We don't have to consider it as a tucha or it's something to be discarded. It is something to be embraced, understood, and probably we transcend it also. All bodies of the living manifest only from mine. For their soul is but a quantum of my energies divine. Have we ever felt divine energy inside of a physical body? Have we had this concept of divine energy being inside of a physical body? Is this understandable? Is it cognizable? Is it relatable? Anybody? Have we felt in our life suddenly one energy came in from me and I would not have been able to do certain things, but it has happened? Or anywhere?
Yes, it happens.
Any
When,
example? Yes, Ji.
yeah, uh, when my father got cancer in
Okay.
2012,
Yes, Ji.
and I had my son. Uh,
Hmm.
4 to 5 years, 4 to 5 year old son.
Yes,
So
sir.
at that time, I don't know from where I got the energy to run after him for his treatment and all. And my
Okay.
son was there with my husband.
Oh,
So at that time, I don't know when from morning 5 to night 12, I was working.
okay. Okay.
So I
But
don't know from where that energy came.
Gayatri ji, are you being humble or you really feel that energy came from somewhere else?
No, it was somewhere else because
Okay, you
it
can
was not
attribute it.
possible for because my schedule was 10 to 6. 10 to
Okay.
6 I need sleep. Otherwise
Okay.
I'll get migraine attack
Okay.
and all. So at
Okay.
that time I didn't feel any headache on those days without sleeping,
Yes,
proper
yes.
sleeping. Yeah.
All right, all right. So you are able to attribute this to divinity, isn't it,
Yes, of
Gayatri
course,
ji?
of course.
Yes, there are, I think, all right. Yes, Pankaj ji. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I also have some similar experience,
Yes, please.
actually in Kailash Mountain.
Okay, wow.
So we were a very small private group of 7 people, seven
Right.
tourists, and it is controlled by China. China gives the permit to visit Kailash,
Got it.
and
Yeah.
India was not in the list. India was banned. So we were 7 people and 3, 4 helpers. We were all together, and from beginning, I kind of decided out of 7 people, I was the only one who was kind of decided that I'll stay at Mansarovar Lake.
Hmm.
I would not go and climb the elevation and mountain and
Yeah.
do the
Okay.
Dakshina of Kailash Parvat
Okay.
for 3 days,
Yes. Okay, sir.
because I knew my limitations, and my wife was
Right.
like, "All no, 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 sab log chalenge, every hour." But when I reached Mansar, when we all reached Mansarovar, we stayed night there,
Hmm.
and I was kind of surprised to see that I was the fittest person out of all those 7,
Okay.
based on the oxygen level.
Yeah.
Every 2 hours,
Yeah.
they check your oxygen level.
Yes.
So that motivation to go up and to keep it going,
Hmm.
I literally felt this was out of my
Out of
reaching
nowhere.
capacity. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Because although
Love.
we prepared, we did a lot of preparation, physical
Yes.
preparation,
Yes.
and all,
Yes,
but
sir.
somewhere that divine energy pushed me to get on
Hmm.
top and then
Yeah.
come down. So
Oh,
I did feel that there, yeah.
yes.
And I have
Yes.
some better experiences which I cannot share here,
Yeah.
but
Yes.
I will
Yes.
share sometimes with, yeah.
Certainly, certainly. So this is actually beautiful. These are even if sometimes very young children also most practically it is able to see, you see very little kids. No? The energy levels are so high, and from where does it come? We don't understand. And now these experiences, which every individual will understand, they know their capacity, they know their limitations, and when they do something beyond that, they can experience. And that is what Krishna is talking about. That here he says, all the bodies of living manifest only from mind, for their soul is but a quantum of my energy is divine. As a portion of me, this is beautiful. As a portion of me, nature begins to dwell and powers their mind and 5 senses as well. A portion of the divine, a consciousness of the divine enters into the human being and it begins to power the senses. It also empowers the mind. This also is at the time of creation when the jiva is just born, isn't it? That time, it is
Yeah.
this force of the energy of the divine which enters inside. There's this nice prayer a friend of mine had shared. He's from another religion, but the prayer is having something very similar. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. That's the experience of the bhakta. When I am down and my soul is so weary, when troubles come and my heart is burdened, and I sit and wait in the silence until you come and sit a while with me, until the divine comes and sits with me. Then you raise me up so I can climb on mountains, I can cross stormy seas, and that is the understanding of the bhakta also. But for that, that understanding to rise beyond attachments, to experience what we can say this, Gayatri ji and Pankaj ji, what would you not say these are very special experiences that both of you had?
Yes, truly it was.
Yes, and yes, sir, Pankaj
For,
ji.
for me, it is special, but
Hmm.
there is something very, very special experience which
Yeah.
I had.
Yes.
But
Yes, sir.
yeah, but
Yeah.
these are possible,
These are
yes.
no. What I meant is, imagine if these special experiences which come, by God's grace at certain moments. Imagine if these are a steady, continuous flow of experiences throughout life. Would that not be a beautiful experience in itself? Life in what we can say high definition, we are watching it or
Yes,
experiencing.
those incidents taught me very tough life lessons. And it
Yes,
was,
yes. No, but that is the consciousness which is available for us at all times, and our
mm,
aspiration should be to try to get more and more of it and to extend it because the realm is limitless. The experiences also are limitless and so diverse. Miracles will keep happening so many times that then the very concept of miracle will become a regular feature of life. That is what many adhaks experience. They say, Prabhu ko niyam badalte dekha. I have seen the divine turn the rules, bend the rules for me. Well, that experience can come for that. A rise of consciousness on the human side is required. And that is why we have to pay that price. If we want to get that experience, the price of giving up attachments. Attachments to our loved ones also we have to give that up to the divine. It is an offering. When you do that,
So
yes, sir.
I want to add few lines here.
Yes, sir.
Give up
Certainly, sir.
detachment. So when we were going to Kailash, we told our kids here. My kids are like one is 31 years old और
Okay,
दूसरा
sir.
29. Quite
Yeah,
एक हमारे साथ business में है, दूसरा काम
yeah.
करता है.
Right, sir.
So we told them that
Mm.
we might not come back because these are the things like
It
these
can
are not
happen.
normal things.
Yes, yes.
And my kids were, Dad, are you really sure? Do you want to do it? And I said, yeah. I mean, we are going. So when we, after Mansarovar, when we start your journey for Kailash Parvat, the
Yes,
parikrama,
sir.
at the beginning there is a small temple, small door kind of thing,
Mm.
which is called Yam Dwar. so, so, so they say that now you are entering in the territory of Yam and
Yama.
Shiv,
Okay.
and you may not come back.
Yes, yes, yes.
So that detachment, until and unless you have that
Yes.
detachment,
You're not
you
free.
you're not free. So that
Absolutely.
was like one shocking thing we came across. We never
Yes,
knew
yes,
about this, and it happened with
yes.
us.
Okay, sir. Thank you for that wonderful experience to share. Yes. Let us continue. Krishna says, Shariram yadavapnoti yachapyut gramatishvaraha grihitvaitani sayati vayurgandhani vashayat. When the divine assumes the body mortal, for the entry of the six senses, he creates the portal, and while leaving the body, he takes them away, just like the fragrance dispersed by the wind on its way. So, when the Sharira is being formed, it is that divine spark that enters into the living being. It creates an entry for the Jivatman to start manifesting. When the human body inside of the womb actually the young child actually comes to life, at that time this is the moment this divine enters into the womb and then into the child. That embryo is now suddenly getting transformed into a fully grown individual. Slowly that journey begins. That is the entry. So that is when the life comes in, and then what happens when the life goes away? Suddenly that spark which had come inside, that spark leaves the individual. And the individual, what we say, such a person is no more, isn't it? Gata pran. Prana entered, jiva. Gata pran again, mrata. Such a different, such a small thing. But the exit of that, in what we can say, that tattva of life is like how a beautiful fragrance comes suddenly from nowhere, and then the wind also takes it away, just like how it came. One neurologist, he's now retired, but before he really was perplexed by this factor. He said, I don't understand what is it that leaves. I have seen so many patients, he says, on the ICU. I have seen so many patients, but I know that after a while, even if the vital signs are telling me something else, I know this patient is now not going to survive because something has left. He says, despite All the pride I have in my degrees and all the papers that I have published, everything, I still don't understand anything about this. It is a very big curiosity of life. I don't understand what it is. It is something which is beyond. Let's go on. Shrotram chakshahu sparshanam cha rasanam ghranameva cha adhisthaya manaschayam vishayanu pasevate. Eyesight, touch, taste, smell and hearing, and the mind is utilized by the soul in dwelling. All the objects of the mind and senses he embellishes, and their sensations he enjoys and relishes. Eyesight, taste, touch, smell, and hearing, and the mind, all are utilized by the Jivatman to gather some experience. All the objects of the mind and senses he embellishes, and their sensations he enjoys and relishes, meaning the divine is participating in our life experiences. He is also experiencing and enjoying our growth. Maybe even in our falls, he is smiling and laughing. Ha, fir se gir gaya. Once more. Okay, he is going to get up again. That he's able to understand because of the higher insight. We don't understand it, but the divine is participating even in our sense-based moments also. That's another reason why we need not dismiss the world. We need not dismiss our interactions in the world because there is a participant. The divine's participation is there. He wants us to experience certain things and push us ahead. For furthering what? Well, his plan. Who can understand the Leela of the Sansara, what divine is doing in the Sansara? Nobody can fully understand. Just like what is there, what is it that Shiva gets in his trance? What is it that he is aspiring from the world? Well, you have to understand only by becoming one with him. Until then, it's not going to be fully understood. But not everybody recognizes this or understands about the essence of the divine. This is also a truth. Krishna says, Utkramantam sthitam vapi bhunjanam va gudanvitam vimudha nanupashyanti pashyanti jnanachakshusha. But the deluded understand not his coming or going, nor do they perceive within themselves his staying. They know not that for all qualities he is the enjoyer, as this realization comes only to the eye of the knower. So, but those who are in delusion, those who are in ignorance, they do not understand. They don't understand the coming of the divine or the going of the divine, the moments which are divine, the moments which are undivine, all these things. This mind is not capable of understanding only. The individual is lost. If you ask him what is Swargaloka for a person who is in complete attachment of desires, he will say whatever gives him happiness, that will be Swargaloka. For a drunkard, what is the heaven? Unlimited supply of alcohol. That is all that person can think of. Where is the question of divinity ever going to come into such an individual's head? It is like that. So the people don't realize the coming or going of the divine. The Thakurji is inside also, the people don't realize that. Nor do they perceive within themselves his staying. They know not for all qualities he is the enjoyer. Why is it they don't know? Because that comes only to the eye of the knower. Somebody who has got the jnana chakshu or the ability to see, only that person can understand, is what Krishna says. Who understands it? It is the yogis. And what do they do when they understand it? They want to serve the divine. They understand the presence of the divine and they say, now I'm going to. Have you heard of this word called Madhava Seva?
Madhav Seva.
Yes. What is that? Or Ishvara Seva? Yes, Gayatri ji, you were saying something?
Manav Seva. It's Madhav Seva.
Okay, Manav Seva is Madhav Seva
Madhav
as well.
Seva.
Okay,
That's
that's one way of saying that. But what is this? How do we serve the divine? How do we understand this? But
now
one
when we
is,
help others,
yeah, when we help
what
others.
we are
Okay.
actually doing that to Bhagavan.
Yes, yes. One Shishya had asked my Guruji, I want to do something for God. My Guruji just asked one question. What are you going to do? Give him a bath? Because the divine is the supreme. What is man going to help divine? The only way we can is offer service to the divine in gratitude for the life that we have. So this aspect, this kind of approach comes only to that individual who is able to understand the presence of the divine. And the yogis understand it. That is why they spend their entire life dedicated to the divine only. They live in the communion with the divine. They get the hints from the divine. They get the indications from the divine. They get the clarity from the divine. And their lives are also in service of the divine only. So let us go on. Yatanto yoginaschainam pashyantyatmani anyavasthitam पश्यन्त्यात्मन व्यवस्थितम् यतन्तोऽप्य कृतात्मानो नैनं पश्यन्त्यचेतसः. The indwelling self they recognize and observe. And so the yogis and the saints strive to know and serve because in their service only they will know the divine better. In offering your service, in adoring the divine, in trying to understand, the knowledge will come. That is what Krishna says, and the yogis also understand it, and that is why they do that. But to the ignorant, this truth is not known, for beyond the material, they have never really grown. But this is not the case for those trapped in ignorance. They have never really grown beyond the material world, so they will never think beyond it. That is the very sad truth of reality of life only, isn't it? Can we want somebody to start loving the divine? Many times people have that. Yes, Gayatri ji.
I think that should come from inner.
Yes, yes, it can't be forced, isn't it?
Yes. I
And
have
that will
tried.
you have tried. You have tried. Okay. Many times people have their in their like my partner, my friend, my brother. Because of our love for the divine as well as for the individuals, we sincerely try, but it will not come. In the Krishna's Butter Kids batch, one very interesting thing had happened. This one participant's mother, she contacted me for that was in the starting period where I was also involved in the children's batches that time. So that time she contacted me and she said, मेरे बेटे को मैं इतना मार रही हूँ फिर भी उसमें अध्यात्म अंदर नहीं जा रहा है. She was hating her child so he becomes spiritual. Is it something like it can be stuffed into you can stuff items into a box, isn't it? Is a child also a box that you can stuff thing inside, stuff spirituality inside?
No, for that, I think her that child's mother should start reading first in front of,
Yeah,
because
isn't it?
children don't do what we say; they do
Yeah,
what
yeah,
we do. Actually, they
absolutely.
follow us.
Yeah, that's the best form of
So
teaching, actually.
this is my experience
Yes, see.
when I started learning Sanskrit and stotram, and I started. And then I told my son to do this, but he was not ready. Like the
Okay.
kids are more technocrat nowadays,
Hmm. Okay.
so that was not the way. Then what
Hmm.
I did, I used to sing that stotram. I used to play that. So by listening that, he also got interest in it. And now the situation is he knows more stotram than me. And
Wow,
he
wow.
says me, "Do you know this? Hari Darshan or whatever." So he teaches me now.
So lovely. Yes, yes, isn't it? That's the way. So I just told her, Maji, आप बाल कृष्ण को मारोगी क्या? I asked her, and she was like, नहीं, नहीं, नहीं. But I don't really know if she changed or she did any difference. But this is the thing. Unless a person decides, they cannot understand. But those who understand, they offer to the divine and they offer themselves. So with this, we can stop today's session. We had stopped at shloka number
11.
11. Yes, see. of the 15th Adhyay. Yes, please. With this, we can conclude. If anybody has any queries, anything you wish to share or ask, you are most welcome. If you have some queries, they are also welcome. Else, let's look at some of the takeaway points which we can take home today. Yes, anybody? Any take home points?
Yeah, service to humankind is service to God.
But that was
That
not there specifically in the Gita
okay.
today.
Okay.
Means because sometimes it's not. I'm not saying that it is a wrong thing at all. It's perfectly true what Gayatri ji has shared. But sometimes we say, let us first be human, then we will become divine. Let us be human. In that
Yes.
aspect, sometimes in that name of humanity, we forget divinity. And
Yes.
the I becomes very big than the divine in service sometimes. So that is why when divine asks me to do service, I will do it wherever, in whichever kshetra. Yes, but that is there, service to the divine. That was one point. Absolutely.
Shushruji, for me, the takeaway point is that you have to depend on the divine, even for praise, affection, support, whatever is
Yeah.
what you
Let
need.
us let us
And
depend.
yes,
It is
let us
not
depend on the
vulnerability
divine.
also, no? It is not vulnerability also, isn't it? Depending
Not
on the
at all.
divine.
Not at
But
all.
depending on other, because humans by nature have, whether we're not trying to, label somebody as good or bad, but by default, human nature is limited, isn't it?
Yes.
Like I would, for as a human, as an individual, I would want to provide everything, whatever I can for my wife, isn't it? From my
Hmm.
personal, but I will have my limitations. So
Yes.
for my own betterment, for my wife's betterment, it is better that she and I both depend on the divine only first
Yes.
and
Let the divine
foremost.
decide through whom
Yes, yes,
he will
yes, yes,
fulfill these
absolutely.
requirements which
Yes,
you
yes,
need
yes. So
here. So,
yes, yes, because there is a limitation of human nature, and divine is absolutely unlimited. So that's a great protection. It's not a vulnerability. The faults will not trouble us there. Yes, see.
yes.
Yes, sir. Pankaji, yes, sir.
Yeah, I came across a very unique concept in this chapter
Yes,
of
sir.
that inverted tree.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Now, in inverted tree, the Lord is trying to say these roots are eternal. I mean,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
has no end, and you are just one part of it, and you are
yeah.
bounded by all those,
Yes, karma
branches,
bandhanas. Karma
karma
bandhana.
bandhanas are there. Now you try to cut all these attachments
Yes, yes, yes.
and try to come close to me.
Yeah, yeah.
So this
Yes.
inverted tree concept is something very unique.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. So that's one thing. And that we will have to use the sword. Asanga, it's a shastra. It is a shastra. Elsewhere, Krishna tells Mukta Sangha. Free union. That's a beautiful, it is a freedom. Today we see it's a weapon also. Sometimes weapons have to be made for protection, isn't it? At least self-protection, if not for causing harm to others. For my self protection, for my betterment, I have to let go of my attachment. People become very possessive about people they love or adore, but that position becomes the poison. And so, for that, they have to become brave enough to take that sword and cut it.
Cut
Might
it
be difficult,
across.
but this is a very strong dhrudena chitva, meaning the great determination, dhruda. That determination should be
Very strong.
there. A
Very strong.
nice Sanskrit shloka was there, or a song was there. Kritva nava druda sankalpam, vitaranto nava sandesham, rachayamo nava itihasam, rachayamo nava sanghatanam. You can create a new history, you can create a new organization with a druda sankalpa. So that sankalpa has to be taken by us. Otherwise, we will not be able to move ahead. So,
Right.
and
Yes.
yes, all
But
right.
one thing is for sure, like
Yes, sir.
these about these attachments,
Yes, sir.
as you mentioned during today's conversation, that these are like painful. I mean, when you
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
detach, it's painful.
From the strings from the heart.
Yeah, yeah, it is painful. But the
Yes, sir.
beauty of this is once you are able to overcome that pain
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
for future,
Yes,
it
you're
becomes very
free.
simple. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah. So I have
Uh,
observed that. Yeah.
Yes, I think what Pankaj just shared reminded me of a quote. I think it's attributed to Rumi, but he was never English speaking, so I don't really know if this is exactly his quote. But the English translation of that was, "It is the heart keeps on breaking again and again till one day it stops breaking completely."
So, yeah.
That aspect, this detachment will happen. A surgery is being done by Krishna. You look at those moments of pain as a surgery of Krishna that it's going on. And then one day, when it's over, there's absolute recovery only. Absolutely. All right, Ji. If nobody wishes to add anything, let's conclude with the Shanti Mantra. Hari Om. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve santu niramayah. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Ma kashit dukha bhag bhavet. Hari Om Tatsat. Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Punarmilam.
Hari
Namaste.
Om.
Hari
Hari
Om.
Om.
Hari Om.
See you
Dhanyavad.
Hari
tomorrow.
Om.
Namaskar ji. Hari Om.
Discussion.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.